Intermittent fasting has exploded in popularity over the last decade. From fitness influencers to busy professionals, millions of people swear by it. Some call it a lifestyle. Others treat it like a shortcut to rapid fat loss. You've probably heard bold claims: it melts belly fat, it boosts metabolism, it resets your hormones. But here's the real question: does intermittent fasting actually help you lose weight, or is it just another diet trend wrapped in scientific language? Let's break it down honestly, clearly, and without hype. Intermittent fasting, often shortened to IF, isn't a specific diet. It's an eating pattern. Instead of focusing on what you eat, it focuses on when you eat. The most common methods include the 16:8 method, where you fast for 16 hours and eat within an 8-hour window, the 5:2 method, where you eat normally 5 days a week and restrict calories on 2 non-consecutive days, and alternate day fasting, where you fast every other day. Some people even do 1 meal a day, also known as OMAD. What makes intermittent fasting different from traditional calorie-counting diets is its simplicity. There are no required food lists. No complicated meal plans. No weighing every gram of rice or chicken. Instead, you create structured periods where you simply don't eat. That simplicity is one of the main reasons people stick to it. But weight loss ultimately comes down to one fundamental principle: calorie balance. If you consume fewer calories than your body burns over time, you lose weight. If you consume more, you gain weight. Intermittent fasting doesn't break this rule. It works when it works, because it often makes it easier to eat fewer calories without consciously tracking them. When you limit your eating window, you naturally reduce opportunities to snack. Late-night eating disappears. Mindless grazing decreases. Many people find that skipping breakfast or delaying their first meal reduces overall calorie intake without feeling restrictive. In that sense, intermittent fasting can be a practical tool for calorie control. However, there's more happening than just fewer eating hours. Hormones play a role too. When you fast, insulin levels drop. Insulin is the hormone responsible for storing energy, including fat. Lower insulin levels make it easier for your body to access stored fat for fuel. During fasting periods, your body gradually shifts from using recently eaten carbohydrates for energy to using stored glycogen, and eventually stored fat. This metabolic shift is often called fat adaptation. Another hormone involved is human growth hormone, or HGH. During fasting, HGH levels can rise, which helps preserve muscle mass while promoting fat usage. There's also an increase in norepinephrine, which slightly boosts metabolic rate in the short term. All of this sounds powerful. And it is, to a point. But here's the important truth: these hormonal shifts only lead to fat loss if you remain in a calorie deficit overall. If someone fasts for 16 hours and then consumes a large surplus of calories during their eating window, they won't lose weight. Fasting is not magic. It doesn't override energy balance. Now let's talk about real-world results. Research comparing intermittent fasting to traditional calorie-restricted diets generally shows similar weight loss when calories are equal. In other words, fasting isn't necessarily superior, it's simply another method of achieving a deficit. For some people, it's easier. For others, it's miserable. Some individuals report that fasting reduces hunger after the first adaptation period. Ghrelin, often called the hunger hormone, tends to rise and fall according to your eating patterns. When you consistently skip breakfast, your body may adapt and stop sending strong hunger signals in the morning. That's why many experienced fasters say they don't feel hungry until their eating window begins. But not everyone adapts the same way. Some people feel intense hunger, irritability, headaches, and fatigue. Others struggle with overeating once their fasting window ends. For these individuals, intermittent fasting may backfire. Let's also address metabolism. A common fear is that skipping meals will slow your metabolism. Short-term fasting, like 16 to 24 hours, does not significantly slow metabolic rate. In fact, short fasts may slightly increase calorie burn due to elevated norepinephrine levels. However, prolonged and aggressive calorie restriction over weeks or months can reduce metabolic rate, regardless of whether you're fasting or dieting traditionally. That's not unique to intermittent fasting, it's a normal adaptive response to weight loss. Another concern is muscle loss. When losing weight, preserving muscle mass is critical. Intermittent fasting does not automatically cause muscle loss, especially if protein intake is adequate and resistance training is included. Strength training signals your body to hold onto muscle tissue. Consuming sufficient protein within your eating window further protects lean mass. The key here is quality nutrition. Intermittent fasting doesn't give you permission to eat whatever you want. Some people treat their eating window like a reward period: high-calorie desserts, fast food, sugary drinks. While you might still lose weight temporarily if calories remain controlled, nutrient deficiencies and poor energy levels can develop. Sustainable fat loss depends on balanced meals rich in protein, fiber, healthy fats, and micronutrients. Now let's talk about belly fat, the area most people care about. Many claim intermittent fasting specifically targets stubborn abdominal fat. The truth is, you cannot spot reduce fat from one area. Fat loss happens systemically. However, because fasting may improve insulin sensitivity in some individuals, and because visceral fat is more metabolically active, some people notice abdominal fat decreasing as they lose overall body fat. But again, it's about total fat loss, not a special belly fat switch. One benefit often overlooked is structure. Many people overeat because their eating is unstructured. They snack while watching TV. They eat out of boredom. They grab food due to stress. Intermittent fasting creates clear boundaries. When you know you're not eating until noon, the decision is made. That reduction in decision fatigue can dramatically improve consistency. Consistency is the real driver of weight loss. Not perfection. Not extreme restriction. Just sustainable habits maintained over time. But intermittent fasting isn't for everyone. People with a history of eating disorders should approach fasting with caution, as strict rules around food timing may trigger unhealthy behaviors. Pregnant or breastfeeding women generally should not fast without medical supervision. Individuals with certain medical conditions, including diabetes requiring insulin management, need professional guidance before attempting fasting protocols. Women, in particular, sometimes report differences in how they respond to fasting. Hormonal fluctuations can influence hunger and energy levels. Some women thrive on 14-hour fasting windows instead of 16 or longer. Customization matters. There's no universal rule that says longer fasting equals better results. Let's also address the myth that fasting detoxes your body. Your liver and kidneys are already incredibly efficient detoxification systems. While fasting may support certain cellular processes like autophagy, the body's internal recycling system, this doesn't mean your body is full of toxins that only fasting can remove. That narrative is exaggerated. So where does intermittent fasting truly shine? It shines for people who prefer fewer, larger meals instead of multiple small ones. It works well for busy schedules where skipping breakfast feels natural. It can simplify life. It can reduce mindless snacking. It can help create a calorie deficit without obsessive tracking. It may not work well for people who wake up extremely hungry, perform high-intensity morning workouts requiring fuel, or struggle with binge eating patterns. For them, spreading calories more evenly throughout the day may feel better. Another practical benefit is social flexibility. Many people enjoy dinner with family or friends. By fasting earlier in the day, they can allocate more calories to evening meals without exceeding their daily target. That flexibility can make dieting feel less restrictive. Let's talk about long-term sustainability. Any diet works if you can maintain it. The problem isn't whether intermittent fasting works in theory. The problem is whether you can maintain it in real life for months and years. Some people adopt it naturally and never go back. Others burn out after a few weeks. Weight loss success depends more on adherence than on the specific method. The best diet is the one you can stick to without constant struggle. If you're considering intermittent fasting for weight loss, start simple. Try a 12-hour fasting window first, for example, finish dinner at 8 p.m. and eat breakfast at 8 a.m. Then gradually extend to 14 hours. See how your body responds. There's no prize for suffering through 18-hour fasts if 14 works perfectly well. Stay hydrated. Drink water, black coffee, or unsweetened tea during fasting periods. Prioritize protein during meals. Include vegetables and fiber. Strength train at least 2 to 3 times per week to preserve muscle mass. Get adequate sleep, because poor sleep increases hunger hormones and makes fasting harder. Monitor your energy levels, mood, and performance. If fasting improves focus and simplifies your routine, great. If it causes constant fatigue and irritability, reconsider. Remember, intermittent fasting is a tool, not a miracle. Not a punishment. Not a magic fat-burning hack. Does it help you lose weight? Yes, if it helps you eat fewer calories consistently. No, if it leads to overeating or is unsustainable for your lifestyle. At the end of the day, weight loss is about habits repeated daily. Whether you eat 3 meals, 6 meals, or within an 8-hour window, what matters most is total calorie intake, nutrient quality, physical activity, sleep, and stress management. Intermittent fasting can absolutely be part of a successful weight loss strategy. But it's not superior to every other method. It's simply one option among many. And sometimes, the simplest option, the one that fits naturally into your life, is the most powerful of all. So, does intermittent fasting really help you lose weight? The answer isn't about magic eating windows or secret fat-burning hacks. It's about sustainability. It's about consistency. And most importantly, it's about finding what works for you. Intermittent fasting can be a powerful tool. For some people, it simplifies eating, reduces mindless snacking, and makes staying in a calorie deficit easier. For others, it feels restrictive and leads to overeating later. And that's okay. Because weight loss isn't about following trends, it's about building habits you can actually maintain. Remember this, the best diet isn't the most popular one. It's the one you can stick to without feeling miserable. If this video helped you understand intermittent fasting better, make sure to hit the like button so more people can see it. Subscribe for more honest, science-based weight loss content. And comment below, have you tried intermittent fasting? Did it work for you? I'll see you in the next video.